several $1 million selling. This is Islamic State selling bootlegged oil. So it's all, in other words, it's all about the oil. This whole smoke screens went up here. But I suppose we look at it again. I was reading from Charlie Cook. Karl Rove, where he talked about the wartime president, the case there. The president has got a couple of points, maybe 1.5 points out of this new bombing campaign, drone campaign, whatever you want to call it, where they are pounding these people. Americans like to see pounding. They don't like to pay for the bombs, but that's basically where we are. And one other question, I'll let you go, Jerry. The election is, well, I guess you can say basically where you left it before you had your operation. All of the pundits, from Sabato to Karl Rove, Charlie Cook, you name them, Nate Silver, they've all backed up off of these landslide models they were putting out there to the public, that it was 70-80% these fellows were going to win all these seats, and they were going to be happy ever after. Now they're down to 50-something%. They've tossed up a lot of these races. Now toss-ups. The fellow in Kansas, up from you there, Roberts, he's in trouble because he doesn't have a house in Kansas. And the other day he was down in Dodge City, Kansas with Bob Dole. And he told the people he's got to get back home to Washington and rest. So what do you think about that? And Senator Roberts, a 30-year man.
Well, and now he's got to get back home to Washington, D.C. Was that a slip of the tongue? It must have been.
Well, yeah, but, he's lived there for 30 years. I mean, he is home. He's got a home, I don't know, in Maryland, one of the suburbs. He didn't have a home in Kansas. He gave that up. He claimed that he was renting a room. That's only recently.
You may be right.
They turned out Senator Lugar, a good man, because, he'd been in Washington so long, he didn't have a house in Indiana. So, and that's not the first time somebody's got turned out for not having a house. Most of those senators, types, been in Washington for a long time. They only have a shack or something in their home state, or maybe as a relative lives in the house, or whatever the story might be. But their principal home is in Washington, where they've been for 30 years. Can't blame a guy for that. There's another hot race across your border in Arkansas between Pryor and a young man there that is running neck and neck with him. Sometimes Cotton is his name, a Gulf War veteran, a tall fellow, about 6'4", but looked like String being a musician. But anyway, he's a real right-winger, even voted against the farm bill. And I guess what I can say is basically he's hanging in there.
I think we're coming down to, when we get to Election Day, the picture will have changed about 10 times of going there, and when you get there, you never know what's going to happen that day. So this is just a strange election season, and has been for some time.
Well,
I've got to call it quits here. I've got a nurse here I need to be talking about, and we're really not feeling very good at all. I appreciate you inviting me on the show.
Well, appreciate it, Jerry. People can still write you at jerrypippin.com.
Yeah, Jerry at jerrypippin.com.
And I noticed also on your site, jerrypippin.com, you have a new show up there where you interviewed, who was that you interviewed, Jerry, before I let you out of here?
Every Monday we do one of our replays of our UFO and paranormal shows, and before we do that, we try to talk to somebody who has a breaking news story in that genre.
Okay.
So if anybody's got something they'd like to talk to us about, send us an email at jerry@jerrypippin.com. That's all one word, Jerry Pippin, P-I-P-P-I-M-P as in Paul.
Okay, Jerry,
and,
I'll post that.
It's also there on the website as well.
Okay, I'll post that on the site, and we'll be up here shortly tonight on iHeartRadio, which used to be Clear Channel. They've changed their name. Very good talking to you, Jerry. Good night.
Okay, good night.
As we've been reporting, there was a stabbing rampage at Vaughn Foods near Northeast 12th and Eastern yesterday. Police say Alton Nolan walked into that warehouse and stabbed 2 women. 1 woman died. The other is in critical condition at OU Medical Center. We have confirmed this morning that the woman who died was 54-year-old Colleen Hufford. Let's take a listen to more police.
Just kind of start from the beginning yesterday about our incident. About 4 more police received a call from Bond Foods, which is located at 216 Northeast 12th Street here in Moore. It's a food processing plant just off of 12th Street. The caller advised that someone had been stabbed and had heard gunshots. When officers arrived, they entered the business, treating it as an active shooter situation. Once inside, officers found 2 victims that had stab wounds, also a subject that had been shot. Our tactical team secured the business and eventually searched the entire business and found no other victims or suspects inside the business. Basically, our initial investigation shows the suspect is Alton Nolan, which is ALTON NOLEN. Birth date's 8/16 of 84. He was an employee of Bond Foods. He was in the process of being terminated. As he was terminated, he drove to the front of the business, running into a vehicle, exited his vehicle, entered the business, where he encountered the first victim, Colleen Hufford. That's COLLEEN Hufford, HUFFORD. Her birth date's 1/5 of 60, and began assaulting her with a knife. He did kill Colleen and did sever her head. He then encountered a second victim, who is Tracy Johnson, TRACI Johnson, 6/17 of 71, and began assaulting her with the same weapon. A short time after that, Mark Bond, who is the Chief Operating Officer of Bond Foods and is also a Oklahoma County Reserve Deputy, confronted Nolan and at that time shot him and stopped the threat and the assault that was taking place. Both the second victim and the suspect were transported to the hospital and are now in stable condition. After conducting interviews with co-workers of Nolan, information was obtained that he recently started trying to convert some of his co-workers to the Muslim religion. Due to the manner of death and initial statements of co-workers and other initial information that our investigators have gathered, we requested the assistance of the FBI in conducting a background investigation into Nolan. And that is about where we are at this point. There still is an investigation going on. It's 2 separate incidents that we're looking at. We do have a homicide that our investigators are looking at, and we have requested the assistance of the FBI in looking into the background of the suspect. If you have any questions, I can try and take some of those.
So were these folks in the front office area, or was it the production line area?
The incident occurred in the front office area, as towards the entrance of the business, yes.
What type of weapon?
This was a standard type knife used in the business in their duties.
So this knife came from inside the facility?
I don't have that confirmed, but that's the type of knife that was used.
What exactly was Alton Nolan let go or fired? Or was he said to be fired at that?
He was, basically the events were right after one another. He was fired at a separate their Human Resources is a separate location just on the property. He drove from there to the entrance of the business.
And had no relation with the 2 victims?
There are no relation between the victims or the suspect, no.
Is there any report of him making any statements or saying anything during the assault?
I don't have that information right now. As far as the actual events during the assault, there are witnesses to it that that's our investigators are talking to.
Was Nolan in the process of being terminated, or had he already been terminated?
He had been terminated, then left, went to the entrance of the business, and that's when he committed the assault.
When you say that he was trying to have been said to be trying to convert co-workers, what exactly is that?
Those were just statements that were made to our investigators. That part is still under investigation. I can't comment a lot on that part because that is part of a separate investigation.
Can you tell us if Nolan participated in the Oklahoma Department of Corrections Defender Work Program while employed at farm?
I don't have that information.
Jerry, the entrance to where he went in, is it a security entrance, or did he have like a key card or something?
I believe you can. It's just an entrance to a business. It wasn't secured. You can just enter the business through that entrance.
Do we know why he was terminated?
I do not. No.
Has he had any sort of previous background in the situation like this before, where aggressive or attacking?
I do not have any information on his background at this time. No.
Now, do you know how long he worked at Bond Foods?
I do not have that, but I can find that out for you.
Were the two female victims, were they just workers in the office? Do you believe it was random?
They were employees of the business. Their exact occupation there, I don't know. I can find that out also. But it did appear random. He wasn't targeting anyone, wasn't going specifically after them. It appears they were just in his way as he came in.
So he was a production line employee at one time, therefore he had access to the knives.
Correct. That's what he was a production line employee.
How many shots did the officer use to shoot?
That part is still, being that it is a shooting, that part is under investigation. As soon as I can release that, I will. But I don't have the exact, that part is still under investigation.
How long has the officer been with the force?
That I also will find out. I don't have that. We're working with Oklahoma County to get all that information.
In regards to the weapon being fired, did he actually leave Bond Foods, go to his vehicle, and retrieve that rifle, or was he armed?
I don't have that exact information, but I know that he did not leave the business. So, but where he obtained the weapon, I don't have that. That also will be in the investigation.
Could you describe Tracy Johnson's injuries?
She had numerous injuries, typical with knife wounds. Not any specifics in one area, it's just numerous knife wounds.
Did it appear that he was trying to behead her too?
Can't really say for sure what he was trying to do at that point, but he obviously was trying to kill her too.
What is her condition right now?
She is in stable condition. It should be noted this off-duty deputy definitely saved Tracy's life. This was not going to stop if he didn't stop it. So, I mean, we are looking at him. He's obviously a hero in this situation. It's very tragic that someone did lose their life, but it could have gotten a lot worse. This guy definitely was not going to stop. He didn't stop until he was shot.
So he was in the process of stabbing?
He was still assaulting Tracy whenever he was shot.
Are employees allowed to go back to work today?
I believe the businesses are back open today, yes.
When the FBI, when you say you brought in the FBI, are they taking over the entire case, or working in?
We're working in conjunction with the FBI. They're helping with that type of background investigation. They have more of an expertise in those type of backgrounds than us as the Moore Police Department. We're handling the homicide investigation solely, and they're assisting us in the background of Nolan.
The fact that you brought up the Muslim part, is that something that they will also look into? Is that part of your?
That is something they're assisting us with.
Are you looking at a possible act of terrorism at all, or is there anything that said he was looking to possibly convert fellow co-workers to Muslim? And I know ISIS.
Just based on statements made by co-workers, that's what brought us to go ahead and contact the FBI just to get assistance on a background investigation in that nature. As far as specifics, that is under investigation, and I can't really comment on those. As soon as I can, I will.
Have investigators been able to talk to Nolan?
He apparently is, he's been in surgery last night. He is becoming more coherent now. As soon as he is able, we do have investigators and officers with him. He will be interviewed as soon as he is coherent enough to be interviewed.
The injuries to Colleen Ford were brutal, all things considered. How was he able, though, to sever her head with just a regular knife during this attack? I mean, this must have gone on for quite some time before Mark was able to come to the rescue.
The attack actually, we had officers on scene very quick. The attack it didn't go on a long time. Exactly how the injuries occurred